Hi. So this video started off as being something and ended up being something else. And I guess you'll just see what it becomes. Please give me a like or a comment or just anything that can help the algorithm understand that I am a person who puts effort into their videos and that people would like to see them. If you could, I would appreciate it. My name is Rusenica. Welcome to my casual book channel where we talk anything books. And today I'm going to attempt to read one book, Here One Moment by Liane Moriarty, in one sitting throughout this 8-hour-ish car ride. I've never read a book in one sitting before. It takes me on average 10 days to read a book. So I'm really truly just going to challenge myself just to see how much I can get done. I really don't think that it's going to be the whole entire book. Okay. I don't know anything about this book. I just knew she was coming out with something and I had to read it. So I'm not even gonna lie, I'm getting a little tired and I'm on page 10. And so I told myself I'm gonna take a nap if I make it to page 50. So we'll see if I can make it to page 50 and then I can take a nap. But the book is good, I just don't have energy for some reason to make it all the way right now. So we'll see how long it takes me to get to page 50. 6 hours and 24 minutes left. Shortest chapter I've ever seen. I made it to page 40 and I'm about to fall asleep, and reading is not for when you're sleepy, so I will get back to it when I can, but I'm hoping to take maybe like no more than like an hour. We're back from my failed attempt to read this book in one sitting on the car ride. After I got to page 40, I fell asleep and did not pick the book up after that because it was too dark to read it. And I attempted to do the flashlight thing, but it just was not doing it for me. So I just left the book, read a little bit of Thanksgiving, and here I am now post-Thanksgiving. Just seeing how far I can get in this book. I also realized I did not tell you anything about this book. Before that, this video is now me seeing how long I can take to finish this book.
My average time to finish a book is around 10 days. That range true for most of the time.
However, I do read multiple books at a time. So it's not really me just like taking 10 days at a time to read one book. It's me reading a book and then I have a book on audio. I'll have like another book that's a physical book that I'm also looking into. My husband, the book just got available at my library, so I need to hurry this one up. I can't take 10 days because I need to read it. So hopefully I finish this in like 6 days. So what the heck is this book about? I knew nothing going in. Upon reading this book starts off, the setting is in an airport in Australia. We kind of view a bunch of different people in the beginning. It's kind of ambiguous as to who it's about, and then we find out that it's about this older lady who starts off being really normal. Nobody really notices her, and then she kind of just goes up and down the aisle of this plane that she's in and starts predicting what age people will die and telling them, and then also how they're going to die. As if it's like a horror movie. I don't even know what genre this book is. Typically, Liane Moriarty does like thriller, mystery, literary fiction, and it's not as brutal as this, but the feeling feels very like horrific because at one point she tells a mother that her child is going to die by drowning at age 7, and you're like, okay, this could turn out to be okay, but when you're telling a child, that's a little dark. So I don't know if she's just trying to get dark. I don't know. I'm very interested to see if the predictions are going to be true, because now once she tells the people how they're going to die and what age they're going to die, we also get introduced to them as people. We're not introduced to the whole plane, but there's like at least 4 people who we're following. There's, I think, a couple, or maybe a couple or 2. There's a man. And we kind of just look into their lives and see why they took the plane ride, how they react to their prediction, and what's going to happen further to see if the predictions are going to become true. I hope not, but at the same time, if they don't become true, What was the point of the intrigue at the beginning? Is it that this woman has dementia, possibly? Also, the woman seemed to have like blacked out as she was doing the predictions. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm on page 122, chapter 33. This is a lot of chapters, by the way, and the chapters are so incredibly short at certain times. Like, look how tiny this chapter is. I don't think I've read an adult book that has a chapter this small. How is it this short? That is the shortest chapter I've ever seen. That's crazy. Oh my god. One of the deaths that the lady predicted on the plane has happened. So the lady is actually predicting deaths and is a real psychic. We've been finding that out in the book, but now that it's actually happened, I'm a little impressed and a little bit excited to get to the rest of the book to see how everybody else is going to respond and to see what the heck is going to go down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, last night when I left off, she predicted that somebody died. And that was a shock because this whole entire book is, well, from the beginning, from what I've been reading, it was unknown if she was going to accurately predict a death or not. So the fact that she actually did it is really freaking me out because then now we're just going to keep seeing more and more people dying. Liane Moriarty has written... I'm sorry, my husband is just talking right now and I can't focus on what I'm saying. So Liane Moriarty, she writes thrillers and she writes things that are scary, but they're more in the realm of true crime. And this just feels like horror a little bit. This feels a little bit horrific. It feels a little bit dark and darker than she normally goes because the other books that she has written, and I've only read Apples Never Fall, but I do know about the premise of Big Little Lies, and I watched 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu. So, but like those all felt like they just didn't have an air of sinister the way that this does. This sinister energy, it's kind of like the this like metaphysical, ghostly feel to it, the way that I expect for like other authors. So I'm kind of nervous about this because the energy is just different. I'm on page 243. I only have an hour or so to read because I want to get to bed early tonight. So I'm like making dinner early and stuff because I have to record a video for my main channel. Check out my main channel, by the way. Please, if you're interested in like anything casual or monumental as it relates to TV shows, me talking about anything. We're gonna see who else is gonna die. There is a difference between knowing that you're more than halfway, I know I'm more than halfway, and then also just simply seeing that you're more than halfway by doing this. The pages I have finished versus the ones that I have left in question. So my goal is to make it, my goal is to make it to 300. Yay. Look at her just sunbathing. Oh my god. Her little paws are crossed. I have 94 pages left. I'm nervous I'm gonna get book fatigue right as this ends. Damn. I went so long in this book without crying, and I'm about to cry because of reasons you don't need to know about. because something sad happens in the book. It's page 412. Like, there have been deaths in this book, but they haven't really, like, infiltrated my art. They haven't really touched me, but this is a lot right now. I don't know. When last words are mentioned in a book, it's over. It's over. I'm done. Why am I getting introduced to a new-ish character and it's chapter 112? I'm tired. Oh my god. Oh my god. Finally. Honestly, my first initial just gut rating, I want to say 4, but I'm just gonna say 3.75, which feels bad because I've been waiting so long for this. I'll elaborate later. My ending thoughts on Here One Moment. This book had some genuinely beautiful moments that I need to write down as quotes and review them, because one thing that Liane is always going to do is take a beautiful sentiment and put it into her dark and twisted story that is gut-wrenching and enjoyable. The thing that I've noticed most about whenever I sit down to read a Liane Moriarty book, which has literally been one time, is that I feel like what she does best is take stories that you would think would not allow for humor, but she inputs so much humor into so many tense situations that I feel like really make her a well-rounded writer. Such just a dream as an author. I would love, if I were ever to become an author, I want to write books like this. Every book that she comes out with, I'm going to read, because I love the mood of her books. I love the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next. I like that she pushes the envelope when it comes to death, because every time her books are going to have some theme that's like life threatening and people are going to die. But it's going to be a very interesting journey as to how they get there. One thing I didn't like about this book was just that the last couple of pages were difficult to get to. Gosh, they were difficult to get to. A thing that I did like was the multiple perspectives. Oh my god. But the thing is, with multiple perspectives, because there were like 3 or 4 people you're keeping up with. There's Cherry, Allegra, Leopold, Leo, Ethan, like at least one more, an older lady. I forget her name. There are like 5 people that you keep up with, and you have favorites of those 5. So much so to where it's like, I'm hearing from Allegra. I don't want to hear from Allegra. I want to hear from Leo. I'm hearing from Leo. I don't want to hear from Leo. I want to hear from Ethan. You know, there's just so many people to keep up with, and she like kept introducing us to people as time went on. Even the people that died, we weren't tied to, which is like, thank God. But at the very end, it was like I was on chapter 122, and people were still being introduced to me. And even the love of her life just came in at the latter part of the book, and I didn't love that. I didn't. Made me feel a little tired. There is a quote that I didn't want to input that gave me pause and made me genuinely sit and think. It's a very particular time in your life when someone you love is dying. The world doesn't stop for you. We know this, but in our hearts we are shocked. We are like famous people who say, "But you don't know who I am?" Except we want to say, "But you don't know what I'm going through? How can you speak to me like that when my mother is dying?" There are still red lights and rude people, long lines and lost keys. You can still stub your toe, and it will still hurt like the devil. The difference is that your reaction may be gargantuan. You may react with a rage-filled steam of profanity, the likes of which your aunt hasn't heard since the war. You may scream in your car at a red light and scare small children. The quote goes on, but I just couldn't sit here and read a page of this book. But it's just so beautiful to put into words the fact that the world does not stop when we are grieving, when we lose a loved one, but it feels as though our world has. The title reigns true for this book, and also just
as a human being, we really are only here for one moment, or like you can only live life moment by moment. And a lot of the people in the book were very aware of that and focused on how to prevent what was going to happen to them, um but not focused on the moment that they were given. And I think that's ultimately what was trying to be conveyed. Either way, it was good, it was beautiful, and that's all I have. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or night.